What's up, guys? Wow, you guys are gonna have to excuse me for a second, especially after a matchup like what we just witnessed live on stream between the Immoral Thieves and the Dark Looters. Absolutely smashing victory. Wow, it was awesome. 113 to 112. Immoral Thieves taking the win over the Dark Looters. Initially going into this, for those of you out there that have really kind of followed the league in depth, I honestly feel as though this isn't that huge of an upset in my opinion. You guys have to keep in mind, every single clan that the Thieves have faced against leading up to this war hasn't put up more than 109 stars, 110. The only clan to get 110 was Killer Bunnies in week 2. Everyone else, including Spartan's Legacy, has only been able to put up 109. So shout out to the base building team there, which showed during this matchup against Dark Looters. And of course, our 10v10 game, averaging no less than 5 every single war this season. And then I think two of the weekends we actually had 8. I know last weekend we had 8 against North Remembers, and I think we had either had 7 or 8 versus Killer Bunnies as well. So statistically looking at it, a lot of us picked Immoral Thieves for a reason. So kind of diving into this, as usual, I'm going to showcase, one of our Town Hall 9s. There wasn't anything too crazy like there was last week with that mass P.E.K.K.A. So we're just going to go ahead and dive in here on Asmo's attack while I read off some of the statistics from what went down during today's stream. So 11v11, there was 0 attempts from both IT and Dark Looters. It's too close for that. 11v10 dips, so this is where we kind of separated from Dark Looters. We went 7 for 8, and keeping in mind that last dip fail that we had, or the only dip fail that we had, was after the Thieves already secured the victory. So after we already sealed the deal and got the for sure win, that's when we ended up getting that dip fail. Whereas Dark Looters actually failed 2 dips. So they went 6 for 8 on their dips on 11 from their 11s versus the 10s. And then the 10v11 game, they actually did beat us by 2. We went 4 for 7, 10v11. Whereas Dark Looters went 4 for 5. And then for the 10v10 triples, both Immoral Thieves and Dark Looters got 5 10v10 triples. The Thieves actually really excelled in the 9v9 game. We actually got 16 scouts out of our Town Hall 9s, whereas Dark Looters got 10. So that's just, great work from our opening 9s. Really firing on all cylinders, which needs to happen. Anytime you go up against a clan like Dark Looters, one of those elite top war clans out there, you have to fire on all of your cylinders, from your 9 game, your 10v10 game, your 10v11 team, your dip team, your 11s, just everything, your base building team. Shout out to the Immoral Thieves. We actually had a base that took 11 attempts from Dark Looters to clear. Just incredible work. I'm just still a little bit on cloud 9. Like I said, we actually, during this event, we had the full 24-hour coverage. So shout out to Rorak Live and Hey Bagel on Twitch for helping me out with covering during that war, or during this war. We actually ended up raising over $1,000 for Duke's Children's Hospital during this event. So very nicely done. So we're gonna go ahead and start diving into some of these attacks. So during this recap vid, I feel like we're just gonna really showcase the 5 10v10 triples that we had. So going into it, let me find them. We have Battle Axe coming in on Smithers base. I believe this is actually the last one that we saw too, live on stream. So great work from Battle Axe. Let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right, so out come the bowlers and the golems. Pretty standard bow witch comp here. Notice he utilizes the 2 jump entry here, making their way into that first Inferno tower. Obviously, second one coming in behind the archer in front of the X-bow. Pulling CC, down goes that poison for both that balloon there, the pups, and the archer queen too, making it easier for those bowlers to cut in and clear. All right, pops the hound. Archer queen, easily able to clear it. Bowler's cutting in, clearing, taking out the next 2 splash out of those wizard towers. This one actually had us a little bit worried because I believe they get the pop out of, he gets the pop out of both of those golems versus the attempt that was prior. By this point, still had the full golem, but it was okay. At this point, he was solid. Brought down that Inferno tower. It came down to this 12 o'clock archer and then 2 points out of those cannons over here at the 9 o'clock. So absolutely smashed it. Plus, he didn't have he didn't have both flankings out of his witches either on the previous attempt. So being able to have both of those in there really kind of secured this 10v10. So great work here from Battle Axe. It came close too. He was really kind of had me going there, especially having that phase left for the queen live on stream. Nice job, Battle Axe. All right, we're gonna go ahead and back out. The next one was Taco Bunnies on Florian's base. All right, down goes that baby drag. Establishing that funnel. All right, King, open it up. I believe he actually runs. Does he run bowlers in the CC? I don't remember how this one panned out. This was actually one of the first 10v10s we had, I believe. I just don't remember what it was that came out of the CC. All right, so Queen trying to accomplish her mission here, clearing 2 of these wizard towers, along with making her way in toward this expo. Oh, I don't think she's gonna get it though. All right, so flight started up there at the 12. Yeah, she goes down. All right, there's the haste. So yeah, it was always gonna be CC Hound. All right, flag continues all the way out by the 7. Sitting on the heal, rage, freeze, and dub haste. Able to clear. Is he gonna take out the enemy archer queen? Oh, leave it to the pups. Interesting. Especially with the rage there too. Didn't bring the skelly for her. But hey, ends up taking her out with those pups. Very nicely done. There's the freeze spell covering down on that last Inferno tower to include the splash out of that wizard too. Very nicely done. Very well planned. Now goes that next heal to keep those loonies running, and gonna utilize that final haste. Actually, I don't know if he swags it or not. He probably swags it, to be honest. We can go hit the times 2 because he clears defense here. Clearly a minute left. Very nice. Nicely done. Yeah, he goes ahead and just speeds him up. Bam. All right, we're gonna go ahead and back out. I guess my barbarian just finished upgrading. We had a number of attempts, by the way, on Edgar's base here. 99% was the top score on it. That one was tough though. All right, how about a weed, the leader of the Immoral Thieves here, getting a 10v10 triple. All right, here we go. Open it up. They're the witches. And how about a Wee here, known for his 10v10 bow witch. Coming with the shattered. All right, heavy kill squad. Double jump is already in. 2 rage, heal, dub poisons, and for both the CC and to hold up the queen here. Activating that bomb with the golem as the bowlers make their way in. Down goes that next rage. Ultimately looking to clear these wizard towers. Be huge, especially in these comps. You got to. It's critical for those outside flanks. Bam, takes out the next wizard. making their way into that final Inferno Tower. I believe it comes down to the Queen at this point. He does still have the phase ability. Boom, takes it out. Great work from Wee. I believe it comes close too on this attack as well. I'm gonna do it ×2 at this point. Yeah, he cuts it real close on this attack. And luckily, these witches up here at the 12 end up catching up and doing a little bit more tanking for this for the witch to make her way down, because at this point she's got the splash from the wizard tower and then 2 points from the archer and the Tesla. So this is huge here. Especially making her way into that archer tower range. Those point defenses absolutely wrecking face against the archer queen. So luckily he had those witches up there to kind of help tank for it. And activating that phase as soon as he sees that wizard starting to kind of lock eyes with her to maintain that health, especially moving into this Tesla down here by the 8. And then regardless at this point, despite the bombs over there, witches being able to clean house. Great job from Wee. Alright, we can go ahead and back out. Oh. Excuse me for a second. We're going to go ahead and bring up the Scatoria thing. Alright, there we go. I guess we got caught up in a spin right there toward the end. Alright, we left off on Wee's attack. Let's see. Hammer-ins. Battle Axe, Taco. There we go. Okay, there's Wee's. Geoffrey's. Take a look at Geoffrey's attack here. Alright, just open it up with that Archer Queen here. Getting the trade-off. Bowlers making their way in. Hoping to grab both the air defense, obviously, Archer Queen, Inferno Tower, pulling CC, and hoping to actually grab this next air defense too, which he does grab. Very nicely done. So flight begins over here by the 8. 8 to 10. Try and clear that second Inferno early. Noting he does have quite a bit of splash over here by the wizards and a lot of point defense from those back in Archer Towers. So especially moving into this, he's got the heal spell, especially when you move into that type of splash. But note that he only has this haste, which he utilizes to clear those as fast as he can. Great split from these loons over here at the 3. Geoffrey, nice attack. Great work. And then at that point, just comes the cleanup. He almost came close though, especially moving into 4 wizards. That's tough. He gets it. GG to Geoffrey. And then the next and final 10v10 came out of Indecisive on Darkness's base. Alright, so Royals making their way in. Out come the wall breakers. Open a path over. Which she does. She'll be able to secure this air defense, as well as hoping to lock eyes with the enemy Archer Queen here. He's got a heal, dub rage, freeze, and 4 hastes. Alright, there it is. Taking her out. Hold CC. Flight starting up here by the 2. Dang, all the way over there by the 10. Out it comes, already getting that pop out. Great split for the Loons. Trying to path over that last Inferno Tower. There's the haste covering the Tesla and Dub Archers. Skellies are out. Hold on to that freeze just a little bit longer despite the Loons being cooked. There's that next Rage. Ooh, there it is. Bam. Great freeze spell. And then making their way over. Clearing that final Expo. Very nicely done from Indecisive. And at this point, just cleaning up the trash. Taking out the rest of it. And that will be all she wrote. The fifth and final 10v10 triple that we saw from Immoral Thieves versus Dark Looters. So shout out to both clans. Wow, this was truly an incredible matchup. It came down to the wire, to the last couple minutes in the war before Immoral Thieves finally secured that victory. So shout out to the Thieves and shout out to the Dark Looters. They really did come out swinging too. And if you guys are looking to catch live coverage from the Immoral War family, twitch.tv/Scottoria. We cover all the CWL matchups, Invite, Rising, and I try and catch as much Premier as possible. The Immoral War family does, in fact, have a clan in all the CWL leagues except for Light. We got the Reapers there in Rising, 3 Point Park in Premier, and of course the Thieves here in Invite. So I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. If you're interested in joining the Immoral War family, I'll have the link to the website and the recruitment Discord in the description. I look forward to catching you guys again next week for our matchup against, I think it's Bada Bing, to be honest with you. So have a good night, guys.